Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is once again Friday night. It is 7 p.m., and it is time for our 1 hour weekly live stream. Got a lot of stuff to go over with you guys tonight. But first, let's see who's all in the chat this evening. We have Mark, we've got Max, we've got Aaron, we've got Eric. We've got Age Forgotten. We've got Karen. We've got Anna. We've got a nice little crowd here going tonight, guys. So let's see. On the shelf this week, the Olympians have been on the shelf for the past month, but that changes tonight. Up on the top, one of our main features for tonight, one of the stars of this week's show, USS Kidd DD-661. Next on there, do not have a model of Lusitania, as you guys know, so Mauritania will be representing her sister tonight. And last but certainly not least, the big U, the SS United States. So, and Matt is here too. I had a feeling I'd see you tonight, Matt. So, guys, the way we are going to start off this week's show is we've got some news articles to go over. And before we do that, I'm getting a little message here. I did not hardwire my internet connection to the router. So let me do that real quick. Right. Okay. That's a lot better. Now I don't have to worry about the internet going out or anything unless the potential storm brewing outside causes some issues. So, like I was saying, we're going to kick off tonight with a couple of news articles. And let's see, let me pull them up here real quick. So, earlier this week, Wednesday actually, I'm browsing up and down on Facebook, and I come across a video, and it's a video of a bunch of people fighting. And I couldn't make out what place this was. I see like blue and stuff, like blue walls or whatever in the video. And naturally, my first thought is, which Walmart is this? Well, doing a little more digging, it wasn't a Walmart at all. This is in Galveston, Texas, and this ship is involved, sort of. So, headline is Carnival Cruise passengers put on do not sail list after massive fight breaks out at cruise terminal. Carnival Cruise Line banned 24 passengers from sailing after a fight broke out at a Galveston, Texas cruise terminal. In a video shared on social media on April 26th, the group of passengers are seen shoving each other inside the cruise terminal. The footage shows as signs and barriers are knocked down, with at least one person pushed to the ground. The travelers appeared to begin punching and kicking the person on the ground, and the security officers hurried to intervene. The incident happened as the passengers were debarking the Carnival Jubilee. The Carnival ship made stops in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. The cruise had wrapped up a 7-day itinerary in the Western Caribbean. The incident occurred in the debarkation area under the authority of U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. This matter has been turned over to law enforcement. A spokesperson for Carnival Cruise Line confirmed in a statement Wednesday. Meanwhile, we will not tolerate such behavior, and 24 people have been placed on our do not sail list. The cause of the fight was not immediately known. Cruise Mapper shows the ship returned to the Galveston terminal at 8 a.m. local time Saturday. So, there you have it. This is why you don't get in fights when you're on a ship or on a cruise terminal. And what they do, I stepped away. The cause of the fight is unknown. Anything I would say would be honestly just like speculation. So, and I don't want to do that. So, no telling. So anyway, those people will not be sailing with Carnival. Now, one thing I do not know is, does Carnival, do all the cruise lines share this sort of information with each other? Like, do these Carnival sends these names to like a Norwegian or Royal Caribbean and vice versa? Like, hey, we have banned these people, just as a heads up. I would be interested in knowing that. So that was the first news article. And I've got another one here. So as you guys remember, a week ago, I used last Friday's stream as a means to wrap up Titanic month for this year. Well, Titanic said, not so fast. So the day after, last Saturday, the day after the stream, some Titanic related news came out. And what that news is, here we are. Let's zoom in on this. This is a letter from Archibald Gracie. And the reason why this is making news is a letter card penned by one of Titanic's most well-known survivors from on board the ship days before it sank has sold for $399,000 at auction. In the note, written to the seller's great uncle on April 10th, 1912, first-class passenger Archibald Gracie wrote of the ill-fated steamship, "It's a fine ship, but I shall await my journey's end before I pass judgment on her." Oh, okay. So, anyway, let's see. I got distracted there for a minute. Sorry. The letters is believed to be the sole example in existence from Gracie from on board the Titanic, which sank off Newfoundland after hitting the iceberg. Auctioneer Andrew Aldridge described it as an exceptional museum-grade piece. Gracie, who jumped from the ship and managed to scramble onto an overturned collapsible boat, that would be collapsible B, by the way, was rescued by other passengers on board a lifeboat and was taken to the RMS Carpathia. He went on to write The Truth About Titanic, an account of his experiences when he returned to New York City. Gracie boarded the Titanic in Southampton on April 10th, 1912, and was assigned first class cabin C-51. His book is seen as one of the most detailed accounts of the events of the night the ship sank, Aldrich said. Gracie did not fully recover from the hypothermia he suffered and died of complications from diabetes in late 1912, December 1912 to be exact. The letter was postmarked Queenstown, Ireland, one of two stops Titanic made before sinking. So, one thing I don't think this, I don't remember seeing it in this article as I'm reading it. It's sold at auction and into the hands of a private collector. I am personally not a fan of it being sold to a private collector. Because of the rareness of this thing. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, why are you saying that you own a piece of Olympic? Well, my piece of Olympic is something that's very, there's a lot of it out there. It's not like I have a super rare piece of Olympic. I mean, in a way, I guess in its own way, it's a rare piece, but there are a lot of them out there. Otherwise, I would not have been able to get my hands on it. But a letter from Archibald Gracie, written on Titanic. I just feel like that belongs in a museum. What do you guys think? Are you okay with it being in a private collection, or do you think it belongs in a museum? I would personally like to see it at the Titanic Museum in Belfast, even though that means I would never see it in person, but I think that's where it belongs. Let's see. Let me catch up with chat a little bit before we move on. Let's see. Mark, I won't be here next Friday. I'll be in Philadelphia for the weekend. Well, cool deal, Mark. Enjoy your trip. Eric, according to Chat GPT, cruise lines generally do not, let me highlight this one. Cruise lines generally do not share, do not sail lists. Take that with whatever skepticism you feel appropriate. Okay, well, good to know. Anna, exceptionally rare items shouldn't be in private hands and hidden away. I agree. Mark, yes, a museum. Age forgotten. I do too. It should be in a Titanic museum. Karen, in the museum. Matt, either Belfast or the Smithsonian. Yeah, Belfast would be my number one option. Number two after that would be probably the Titanic Museum in either Pigeon Forge or Branson, because it's still Titanic museums. They have actual Titanic artifacts at those museums. So I can't understand why that would go into private hands. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, let's move on to our first topic of the night. And let's see. That ship should look pretty familiar to you guys. Let's see. Again, one of our stars of tonight's show, USS Kidd, DD-661. 1 year ago today, guys, it is the 1 year anniversary of Kidd's arrival in Houma to start undergoing dry dock repairs. And this is an image of her in the Gulf of Mexico, which I still to this day do not know who got this shot. Was it on a rig? Was it on another vessel? Age, yes, absolutely. Love this ship. She is my girl. Eric, me too. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I never figured out who did that image. But anyway, let's transition for a bit. what we are looking at here is you've probably seen this footage before if you've been subscribed to the channel for at least a year, because I've already shown this in one of the videos of the week, is this footage. Here is Kidd on her way to Houma. This is the Mississippi River right here. And she is sailing under, the official name of this bridge is the Hale Boggs Memorial Bridge. And I've crossed this bridge more times than I can count in my life. But you can see it's late in the evening. It's almost nighttime. And we got there just in time. Took the drone up. And I am off to the right on the other side of the bridge on the ground from this video where the drone's at. And I remember you see all the group of people standing right here. I am in this crowd right here. And that's where I'm flying from. And I still remember somebody in that crowd apparently knows Tim Nesmith. Tim's been on the channel. Well, Tim was actually riding the ship. I just saw me. It was him and maybe one or two other people. I forget how many people were on the ship, but Tim was definitely on the ship. And somebody down there knew him. And I've got my my professional camera going, and I'm recording video at the same time, and you just hear somebody, "Hey, Tim!" That's one of my memories of that. Before we got to this point, oh yeah, oh for sure, Eric, yeah, can't wait till she gets home. Age, this is so beautiful. Grand lady brought in. Jealous. Yep. But anyway, and you can see another tugboat has turned around and is leaving the escort. She pretty much had I think it was like police escorts essentially all the way down the river as well, if I remember correctly. That way people couldn't get up, in their smaller craft or whatever, right up to the ship. They didn't want that happening. And it looks like she sailed happy. Did they have any trouble with the tow? There was one incident, and I should have got Tim on here to do this segment with me because I don't remember the details. But I think she sprung a leak somewhere in the Gulf, but it was okay. It wasn't like major flooding or anything. Maritime Wire, welcome. We were on the other bank filming. It was a beautiful sunset. Is your footage? Do you have a channel, Maritime? And if so, is your footage on your channel? I would be interested in seeing it. So yeah, you can see I followed her for a bit of a ways. Could have followed a lot further than I did, but the light. If you know anything about the sunsets, when the light starts going, it starts going really fast, and we were getting to the point where a lot of the we're getting a lot of noise in the footage. So I only ended up keeping the really nice looking footage, which is what you're seeing here. But yeah, going back to the question, she's essentially sprung like a small leak, if I remember correctly, from what Tim said. And it wasn't a major issue, but here's the real kicker about it was the Coast Guard didn't want anybody on the ship. And oh, look at that. Let me change camera angles here. That way you guys can see. The footage you are seeing now is not my footage. There we go. Footage courtesy of Matthew Dominic. That is Matt. That is in here in the chat joining us this week. Matt, if you would like, you have my blessing to go ahead and promote your YouTube channel. You can put it here in the chat. Yeah, so it was a 280-mile trek from Baton Rouge down the Mississippi into the Gulf of Mexico, up this river bayou that you see here, canal. The official name for this is the Houma Navigational Canal, but all the locals call it the Houma Nav for short. So she is coming up the Houma Nav right here. And again, this is Matt's footage. Matt, what is also the name of your channel? It might be easier for people to, excuse me, to find it that way too. And I think he has this this footage on his channel as well. Oh, and Maritime Wire answered our question. We posted it on the Veterans Museum YouTube channel. Okay, well then I've definitely seen your footage because I watch everything that they put out on there. Speaking of which, so 2 days ago was the anniversary of the journey. Today's the anniversary of her arriving in Houma. 2 days ago was the anniversary of the beginning of the journey. And if you go to the kids' channel, let's see. I do have it here. Let's see. So USS Kidd Veterans Museum channel is on YouTube at USS Kidd 661. They did a time-lapse video that they put out a few days ago that is on their channel, and it is the whole journey, or at least what I think is the whole journey, from Baton Rouge all the way to the dry dock. And the footage of mine that you just saw by the Hale Boggs Bridge, they stop the time lapse video and they have a little clip of my footage inserted in there. So I was feeling pretty excited when I saw that actually in the video. Let's see. Let me catch up with chat here again. Let's see. It was so windy, the footage did not come out as smooth as I wanted, but it was fun to see this. The footage does not look bad at all to me. You got to look really, really good, guys. But let's see. You can see Tim right here. At least I'm 90% certain that's Tim. That looks like a person, and I'm 90% sure that's Tim right there. So, yeah, Tim is on the bridge. Exactly. So, and actually, once she got to Thomas C., yep, Maritime Wire. Yep, that's Tim. Now, I don't think he stays there the whole time. If I remember right, he walks aft. He goes to the back of the ship for something, and he kind of disappears from sight. That had to be so cool to sail on her like that. I know from what I remember, the way he described it to me is like he definitely appreciated the moment, but 2 days of sailing on her and not having a no access to a shower, and they had a porta potty on the ship because there's no plumbing. I don't think he missed that part of the journey. So yeah, is that it right there? Yeah, I think that is the end. Nope, that's not the end. Okay. So here she is. This is further up the Houma Nav, and you can see this pontoon bridge here that's opened up, and you can see, look at the line of cars on both sides of the canal greeting the kid as she's going up to the Houma Nav, and I believe Matt is on this side of the bayou or canal uh, from where his drone was. The fade gave me goosebumps. Awesome. So, Matt, was that the side of the canal that you were on? Because I'm fairly certain it was. And I told Tim one of the first times I talked to him in person since this event. Um, I told him, I said, "You got to give me a heads up when the ship is leaving. That way, I can be in this spot to get footage of her going back down Houma Nav, and I can track her once she gets back into the Mississippi, and I can catch her again at various spots, most likely by the Mississippi River bridges, which there are several of them that she has to pass under on her way back to Baton Rouge. I'll probably catch her at each bridge and get some drone footage, get a lot more drone footage of her going home than what I got of her uh, going down to Houma. Yep, and Tim is not visible anymore, so I assume he's inside somewhere. But yep, 1 year ago today. Now, will she be on her way back at this time in a year from now? We don't know. What we do know is at this point in time, dry dock is mostly finished, but they're not done yet. Painting the hull in the dazzle scheme is going to be the very last thing they do, and I do not know if they've started that process yet or not. The museum is still trying to raise money in order to get as many repairs in as possible. So if they continue to raise money and they can continue to get more work done, it will prolong the ship being in the shipyard, but that's a good thing. So USSKidd.com, that's where you can go to buy all their merch. You can see I've got the kid shirt on. I've got my challenge coins here. If you want to support them through Patreon, they do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/USSKidd661. And of course on the YouTube channel. So again, let's see. Age forgotten. Hang on, let me catch up with chat. Yes. Bow wave. Yep. She's still with us. What did I just wave around? I waved a challenge coin, Anna. That right there. Now, these were a special edition challenge coin that I do not think is available anymore. They've gone back to their regular challenge coins that they always sell. And I just got one of those recently. And that's what the regular challenge coin looks like. Absolutely, Maritime. Yes. Yes, please donate while she's still in dry dock, guys. That matters a whole lot more than donating after. But I mean, of course, donate after. But I mean, you get my point. When she's done with dry dock, it's going to depend on the river as to when she will be able to get back home. And I think, yeah, that is the end of the footage there. So yeah, now that I'm back big screen, I'll show you these to you real quick again. So yeah, depending on the river as to whether or not when she'll be able to get home. Typically, towards the end of the year, the river will not be high enough for them to get the ship back into the cradle. It would really be like this time of year in the spring, March, April, maybe May at the latest, I think. At that point, she would be, the river's high enough to get her back in the cradle. Where she would go in the meantime, if the river is not high enough, Uh, that remains to be seen. We don't know. I don't know if they know yet. If they have figured that out, they have not revealed anything as far as that goes just yet. But now that I'm full screen, so you can see these again better if I can get this in focus. Yep, there you go. Partners in preserving Louisiana's flagship. This was the special edition challenge coin that they put out, and that's what the back of it looks like. And this is the one that they're selling again, which is the one that they normally sell. Let's see. There we go. Pirate of the Pacific. And this is what the backside of that looks like. You can get those on the website for the museum. They do have the gift shop is online. So just a heads up. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I collect challenge coins, guys. I've got like, let me show you. These are like all my challenge coins I got from different ships. So so that is what we got for Kidd for this week. Now, I don't really know how to explain what a challenge coin is to you, Anna, to be honest with you. I would say just look it up online. I'm not very good at explaining what it is. But having said all of that, we're going to transition into our next ship that we're going to be spending the rest of the evening on. And let me pull this up. Lusitania. So the anniversary of the sinking of Lusitania is going to be next week. Now, I was trying to think of a way that I could do an anniversary stream this year and essentially top what I did last year. And I honestly could not come up with anything. So I'm essentially going to do like a shortened version of last year's anniversary stream, which I felt like I did a really good job on that. So if you want a whole live stream dedicated to the anniversary of Lusitania's sinking, check out the live stream from last year. The whole hour, it's an hour and 18 minutes long. And you can watch that whole thing. It's nothing but Lusitania for the whole stream. But figure we start off looking at some photos. I assume everyone here is familiar with Lusitania's story. Is there anyone here that does not know Lusitania's story? I would imagine most people do. So these are photos of her launching, obviously. She predates the Olympic class by a few years, as we know. In fact, the Olympic class was White Star's answer to Lusitania and Mauritania. Whereas now the difference being, of course, oh, and here she is with her canard colors. If you recall when she was torpedoed in the attack, her funnels were painted completely black. But here she is with her traditional canard red painted on her funnels. But anyway, yeah, so the difference between them, where Mauritania and Lusitania were built for speed, the Olympic class went for luxury. So, you know, all the foolishness about Titanic trying to set a speed record, blah blah blah, that was never going to happen. Those ships weren't designed to break speed records. So when you hear that, I kind of roll my eyes a bit. But anyway, on the Lusitania, this is what Lusitania's first class dining would have looked like. Now, I know all of us Olympic class fans here, we talk about and we brag about how beautiful, the D-deck dining reception and all that was on Olympic and Titanic, and rightfully so. But look at this image. I mean, Lusitania and Mauritania, they could hold their own, at least as far as the first class dining areas. And remember, in Olympic and Titanic, they were only 1 story high. In Lusitania here, you can see you've got an upper level here, and you had people dining up on this upper level in addition to the ground level. So, I mean, they look fantastic. This would be an image of Lusitania's first class smoking area. Now, I will say this. I am not quite as impressed with the smoking area or smoking lounge as I am on the Olympic class. This honestly looks more to me like second class on Olympic and Titanic, which are beautiful also. I'm not saying they're not, and I'm not saying this is not, but I would definitely prefer the Olympic class smoking areas. Eric's got a good comment here. Challenge coins originated in the military as a recognition of achievement and or loyalty. And fun fact about challenge coins, we have 2 places in the country that Marines go for boot camp. You have MCRD San Diego and MCRD Paris Island. And in their gift shops in each place, and I've been to both of them, you can buy challenge coins there in the gift shops. So I would imagine in the other branches of the military, you have that as well. Here we go. So if you're wondering why would I be showing Olympic when we're talking about Lusitania, because Lucy is right here behind Olympic. So how rare would that be? Or is this, both of them right here in the same image together? And this would have been this would have been pre the 1913 refit of Olympic, because you can see the center bulwark is still on Olympic. Remember, in the 1913 refit, they removed that and the entire boat deck was lined with lifeboats. So this image, and I do not know the exact date, but it's pretty clear that this image predates Olympic's 1913 refit. Anna, so like the coin I got from Blakely for the SS United States. Essentially, yes, Anna. Yes, that's what a challenge coin is. That's what you got. This is a very, what in my opinion, important photo of Lusitania as well, because when you zoom in, and I'm pretty sure it's the same image on both sides, but if you zoom in real good, you've got the right plane in the foreground, you've got Lusitania in the background, and you've got the Statue of Liberty in the far background. I got my first one without. Oh, yeah, here you go. Well, we can ask that question real quick. Aaron, what does the channel think? Do you prefer White Star or Cunard? Eric, is the same image taken with a stereo camera. Okay. But talk about a historic photo, guys. Look at that. Yes, it is the right plane. Now, let's move on. Here is the infamous notice. So what we're looking at here is So Lusitania set sail on her final voyage on May 1st. And this is a newspaper clipping. And on the left, they are advertising Lusitania's sailing times and dates. Notice what's on the right. On the same day she sets sail, the Imperial German Embassy posts this in the newspapers. Travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies and Great Britain and her allies. That the zone of war includes the waters adjacent to the British Isles, that in accordance with formal notice given by the Imperial German government, vessels flying the flag of Great Britain or of any of her allies are liable to destruction in those waters, and that travelers sailing in the war zone on ships of Great Britain or her allies do so at their own risk. So they're putting it out there right here, point blank. If you're sailing on one of these ships, you do so at your own risk. Let's see. Age forgotten. That's chilling. Yes. So what we've got, yeah, do not sail. Eric, that's where I would, nope, out of my trip. From what I remember, it really did not dissuade people from getting on the ship because remember, at the time, Lusitania was one of, if not the fastest ships in the world. And it was believed that her speed was her greatest weapon. And essentially it was, but unfortunately, that speed was not used as it should have been, in my opinion. And that was one of the reasons why they were, why U-20, which was commanded by Walter Schweiger, was able to torpedo her. And here we go. We've got footage from the National Archives of the beginning of Lusitania's last voyage. And you can watch this on the National Archives YouTube page as well. But eventually, we are going to see Lusitania here in a minute. Schweiger is mentioned a few times in that literature I translated. Yeah. Walter Schweiger was the commander of U-20, which is the U-boat that torpedoed Lusitania. Some people debated over the years whether it was more than one torpedo, but in Schweiger's logs, he stated that he shot one torpedo at the ship, and his officers or crew members on the U-boat corroborated what he said. So in just a second here, they're actually going to cut to the ship getting out of Kennard's Pier, which I believe Kennard's Pier was 54, if I remember correctly. Aaron's your uncle from Italy. People walked funny back then. It's amazing that they have this footage, though. When you think about the fact that the only real footage we have of, and here's Lusitania. The only footage we have of Titanic is like 5 seconds or whatever it is. Everything else they show you and tell you is Titanic is really Olympic. And you're going to see Lusitania's captain, William Turner, in this footage as well. Yep, so you see this guy, he's on the docking bridge. He's raising these flags up, which I believe are essentially signaling it's she's either getting underway or like all the mooring lines are cleared. Have they ever proven the rumor or theory Lusitania was carrying arms? I believe that she was. And I know that's been a thing of debate whether or not that's what caused the second explosion on Lusitania after the torpedo. But my personal opinion, I think it was a boiler exploded. Yep. So she's leaving her pier here, and in just a second, when we get to the bridge, we're going to see Captain Turner, and that's him right there. See where I got the mouse pointer on the bridge wing? That's Captain Turner right there on the docking, or not the docking bridge, on the bridge wing. There he is up close. So the tugs are, you can't see the tugs, but the tugs are pulling her out from the pier. There it is right there on the hull, Lusitania. And I've always thought boilers myself. I'm sure she had some kind of arms stashed away, but I don't think it would be enough to do that. Well, I don't think we're ever going to know. So there she is. Now, from what I remember as well, she did not hit full steam or full speed at this point yet. She's going to meet up with another ship, and I forget the name of the ship, and get mail before she goes out into the Atlantic and hits full speed. Now, I want to go back just for a second. Let's see. Right here. So if you look real good, look, there's a 3-funneled ship over here in the background behind Lusitania. And I believe we know what ship that is. Does anybody have a guess on what that ship is? I will wait for you guys in the comments. See if anybody's got a guess. Aaron guesses Queen Mary. Nope, Aaron, this is almost 20 years before Queen Mary is built. No, Anna, not Queen Mary. Mark, Majestic, you're close, Mark. You're on the right path. You're very close. Let's see if he can get it. Take another guess, Mark. See if you can guess it. Anything? Nope, not Bismarck. Age, no age, not Mauritania. Remember, Mauritania was a 4-funnel. That's a 3-stacker. So I will tell you guys what it is. Are you ready? That is Vaterland, sister ship to Bismarck / Majestic. You danced around it, Mark. you named the 2 sisters. It's the Vaterland. Remember, Vaterland was laid up in New York at this time because they did not want the British to seize the ship or capture the ship or sink the ship. And once we get into the war, we being the United States seizes Vaterland and then converts it into a troop ship called the USS Leviathan. After the war, the United States would keep USS Leviathan as reparations. And of course, Bismarck and Berengaria would go to Cunard and White Star. They would be renamed, Berengaria. Imperator is what I meant to say. Imperator and Bismarck would go to Cunard and White Star. Imperator would be named or renamed Berengaria, and Bismarck would be renamed Majestic. Uh, Now, one final image here to show you guys. This is a painting from Ken Marshall. And I know it says Encyclopedia Titanica down here at the bottom, but if you look real good, you can see copyright Ken Marshall. So this is one of Ken Marshall's paintings. Now, I do not know how old this this painting of the wreck is. I would think that she's probably more flat than she is now, but you can almost make out some identifiable features in his painting. It looks to me like this might have been the forward mast right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 4 funnels right there. And as how deep is Lusitania? Lucy is in 300 feet of water. So that would be 100 feet less than what Britannic is in. Britannic is in 400 feet. So you can scuba dive to Lusitania. Well, I don't know if legally you can, but I mean physically, if you're allowed to legally do it, you can scuba dive to Lusitania. All right, so I've got one more thing we're going to do before we call it here, because we've got about 10 minutes left. So bear with me while I get something loaded up here. Eric, why so flat? The rumor that I've always been told or heard, Eric, was supposedly after the war, there was a lot of like essentially dive bombing the thing and using it as target practice. But I do not know how true any of that is. I've never, admittedly, I've never researched it for myself. Um, but one of the things we're going to do here before we go is we're gonna walk around Lucy for a minute. So bear with me. Share screen, and there we are. Let's go this way. So if you guys remember, we did this last year. I just kind of walked around and the ship, and you can actually play out the sinking, but we're not going to do that tonight. I tell you what, I'll put it to a vote. Do you guys want to seek now? Because the thing is, this is not a 100 complete or 100% accurate what you call it, interpretation of the sinking, but it's the only thing we have until like part-time explorer Tom Linsky or Honor and Glory put out a sinking animation of Lusitania. Let's just go ahead and do it. Because it's only 18 minutes. So they start us off here. We're on the we're on the starboard side. Let's go to the bridge wing. This is right where we saw Captain Turner in the real footage. And let's see. You want to be paying attention over here off to the right. You're going to see the foam bubbles from the torpedoes coming, and they're going to hit just aft of us. I think it's between the first and second funnels, but you want to keep an eye out. We're going to look out in the water and keep an eye out for this. And I'm hoping that Tom or Honor and Glory, somebody will do a sinking animation this year. I don't know if you guys have been following Honor and Glory, but they've put out a couple of videos featuring Lusitania in the past few days. So to have something from either one of those channels, a real accurate and nice looking interpretation would be really good to have. So I don't remember exactly how long it takes before you see the torpedo coming. But one of the things I never liked about this game is the torpedo comes in more like a missile than than an actual torpedo. I mean, that thing just flies. Alert, torpedo is coming from the right-hand side soon. So get ready. I would imagine at this point, Schweiger probably fired the torpedo already. Here it comes. Look, there it is. Right there. And see, what we're not seeing in this animation is it actually blew some lifeboats off of the davits. Now, look how hard she's listing already. I mean, we've got a serious list to starboard already. Now, 30 seconds after, you get the second explosion, which I personally believe was a boiler explosion. Now, steam pressure is going to collapse in the ship. So basically, all the commands given from the bridge are received in the engine room, but they can't do anything. Like the steering gears are not responding, so you can't steer the ship with with the rudder. They can't slow the ship down to launch lifeboats, even though we already see a lifeboat going in the water. And I don't believe. Yeah, look at this. You get 3, 4 lifeboats. I don't believe that the lifeboats launched this fast. I mean, it was minutes after, but this is still like a minute or at the most after the attack. One of the interior explosion messed up her structure support, and that's why she's so flat. I mean, it's possible, but notice she's still moving too. It's almost 10 minutes after the attack, when the ship, when the bow was so down in the water that the ship is finally moving slow enough to where they can actually successfully launch lifeboats. Now, let's see. So you got this massive list. If I can get down this, well, let me get down here. Are we just stuck on here? Let's see. Yeah, I can't get off the bridge for some reason. But one of the things that's going to happen, and it could be happening already, launching boats on the port side is going to become impossible because of the list. And the boats are going to be rubbing against the hull. They're getting caught on the rivets, and they're essentially flipping over and dumping all the occupants into the water. What's going to happen over here on the starboard side, the boats are going to swing out so far away from the ship that you essentially would have to jump for it to try and get in one of the boats. What kind of mechanics do they have on the boat? Are you meaning like the engineers, Billy, or like some of the machinery? So yeah, this thing instantly shows all these lifeboats launched. One, two, three. I believe this gets the number of lifeboats launched correctly, but that is pretty much it. You remember, only 6 out of 48 lifeboats. I believe it was 48, or am I thinking of yeah, I think it was 48. Only 6 lifeboats are successfully launched. Why didn't they cut the boats free and get everyone off in life jackets and load the boats from either a boat that was launched successfully or the water? Uh, I do not have an answer to that question, Anna. I'm not going to lie to you. And the thing is, people survived. Like people survived this in these conditions. You did have people who I believe died from hypothermia, but not to the extent of Titanic, because while the water is cold right here, this is 11 miles off the old head of Kinsale, and the water is colder, but it's not, you know, cold to the degree that it was where Titanic went down. Captain Turner survived the sinking, and he was in the water for 3 hours. Aaron, 3 stowaways were on board. Yes, three Germans were stowaways, and they were caught and arrested. They were put into I think they converted a stateroom into a brig, and that's how those guys. That's where they were put. I do not know if they survived. Yeah, it could be quite difficult getting into one of those boats from the water. Yeah, it would not be easy. But look how bad she's listing already. And remember, 4 minutes after the attack, all of the power fails on the ship. Ship goes completely black. And uh, I've read things that have said survivors saw people getting stuck in the lifts. The people were using the lifts when the power went out. Now, that's got to be a terrifying thing. That it gives me chills thinking about it. You know, people people caught in the lifts, they lose power, the ship goes completely black, these people are trapped in the lifts, you're in pitch black, and you can't get out of that lift, and the ship is sinking, it's going under with you trapped in a lift. uh, Yikes. And like 10 minutes after the attack is when Turner gives the order to abandon ship. How many people survived? Karen asked. Who knows the answer? How many people survived the sinking? Anybody know? So yeah, she's almost on her side. Why in the world would they use the lifts after being hit by a torpedo? I can't answer that either for you, and I do not know. Matt, you thought everyone did? Oh no, 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 no. Lusitania was a massive loss of life. Around 1,200 people died on Lusitania. Aaron, have you seen her propellers located? There's one of them there at that hotel in Dallas, Aaron. And no, I have not seen it in person. I've seen the pictures, of course. Yeah, anybody know? Ooh, wow, she is. It's amazing she didn't capsize. Who knows how many people survived the sinking? I know, but I just it's cool. So, whoops. And it's better to see it this way anyway. Look at that. Look how hard she is listing. And she's still moving. Yeah, by this time it's damn near impossible to get the lifeboats off of the ship for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, if memory serves, when the starboard bridge wing goes under, that's when Turner is swept off of the ship. He grabs and clings on to a deck chair and survives in the water for 3 hours. They pick him up out of the water unconscious. Lusitania, at the time of the sinking, 1,197 lost their lives. And over here on the port side, let's make our way over. And again, you see the extreme list here. There's no way they can successfully launch lifeboats on the port side because they would be rubbing against the hull here, getting caught on the rivets, and they're dumping everybody into the water. Oh, there it is. There it is. You can see the name on the hull. I didn't see it on the starboard side. You're not supposed to see that part. And I've always wondered, and man, I would love to have somebody who knows a whole lot more about Lusitania than I do on here tonight, because I've always wondered if Lusitania's longitudinal bulkheads contributed also to her listing as badly as she did. I would think they would. I'm thinking of like Scotland Road on Titanic, how the water essentially had a highway to go from bow to stern on the ship. Oh, the bilge keel. Yeah, I got you, Eric. Yeah, you're not seeing the chaos that's happening on the ship right now. And that was one of the things I remember reading about Schweiger. Um, he neglected to fire anymore at the ship. Um, I believe like through his periscope, he was looking and seeing all the chaos on the deck. And at that point, it was essentially down periscope, and we're going to leave. Now, does anybody know what ended up happening to Walter Schweiger, the commander of U-20? Does anybody know what ended up happening to him? Anybody? Yeah, you can see the one of the promenade decks here is about to go under. Anna killed in battle, I think. He wasn't killed in battle, Anna, but you could essentially say he was KIA, killed in action. Hit us with some submarine goodness. Eric, thank your friend, ladies and gentlemen, as our friend Mike Brady from Ocean Liner Designs. Hey, Eric, I think Mike Brady did a video about this with really cool animation. Oh, I don't doubt it. That would not surprise me at all. I have to go back and look on his channel. I'm fairly certain he did do a video on Lusitania. But no, Schweiger, after this, he took command of a different U-boat, U-88. And on September 5th, 1917, U-88 with Schweiger in command, hit a British mine and sunk. So yes, Schweiger was killed in action. He did not survive the war, which provokes a question that I've wondered, and let me get you guys' thoughts. Did Schweiger escape justice by being killed in action, or justice was served because he ended up dying anyway? Now, this is another thing I think they got wrong, because I seem to remember the ship went down. She kind of leveled out before she went completely down. I could be wrong. That's another reason why I want to see one of these guys do a sinking animation, so we can get a better interpretation of the sinking than what we have here in this game. But again, until that happens, this is the best we've got. Would the forward motion shove the water back, not forward? One would think yes. I'd call it justice served. Then again, it's an occupational hazard. Part of me thinks it is, because he got his, whoa, he got his come up, he got his just desserts. But I'm of two minds of it, because at the same time, I believe if he survived the war, and he was captured, there's not a doubt in my mind, because of Lusitania, he would have been tried and executed as a war criminal for intentionally torpedoing and sinking a passenger vessel. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. He decided against another torpedo and just left. Didn't want to watch what he had done. I remember seeing, and I don't remember if it was a show or a movie or whatever it was, where essentially some of his crew objected to them attacking Lucy, but it didn't stop him from doing it. I do not know if that's true, so do not take my word for that. I do not know for sure if that was true. All right, guys, and there she goes. And I don't think it goes down any further than what we're seeing here. I think the stern just sits there. But somewhere out there, look way over there off in the distance, there's the lifeboats. So 18 minutes, guys. By contrast, Titanic took 2 hours and 40 minutes, but Titanic also didn't endure the type of damage that Lusitania endured. So let me go ahead and get out of that game there. So anyway, we're at an hour and 15, guys. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but why not? Um, like I said, let's hope either Tom, Part-Time Explorer, or Honor and Glory next week will put out a sinking animation. Because I believe theirs will be a whole lot more accurate than what we just saw. And yeah, so that's what I got for you guys this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, if you want a full anniversary stream of Lusitania, go back to last year's live stream, and you will get essentially an episode just as long as this one, and it's all Lucy. Maybe hopefully next year by this time I'll have made more contacts, in the museum and historian world, and we can find an expert on Lusitania, like I did, like we found with Park Stevenson about Titanic. So that's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. Content schedule is as always. Our weekly video comes out every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Our weekly 1-hour live stream, 7 p.m. And our random video short of the day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Let's see. Mark says, awesome stream. Maritime, great stream. Anna, awesome stream. Eric, great stream. Thank you guys so much for attending and coming hanging out with me. And hopefully we can get Tim back on in the near future. It's been aside from the quad stream we had with Tim and Ken and Shane and me, it's been a while since we've had a one-on-one chat with Tim about kids. So hopefully we can get an update from Tim, because I've got an idea for a video with Tim that I want to discuss concerning Kidd, of course. Ozzy, time for the rum. Member for 2 months. Thank you so much, Ozzy. You better get in touch with Steve if it's time for rum. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching, and until next Friday, you guys have a great weekend. Have a good time, and as always, drive safely.